Hi guys, I'm Heidi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a Friday Reads video. So I feel like my reading has definitely slowed down from what it was in September. I feel like my life and work and everything else has kind of caught up with me. But so far I have managed to finish one book and I am currently reading two. So I finished reading Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. This tells the story of Gideon Nav, who is an expert swordswoman and who wants to escape from the Ninth House. But Harrow, who is her childhood nemesis, and the necromancer and also the heir of the Ninth House, has other plans because the emperor of the first house has sent an invitation to the heirs of all the other houses saying that there is going to be a trial of sorts, and the winner would become a lictor, who is an immortal and extremely powerful servant of the emperor. And every necromancer needs a cavalier, and Gideon has to become Harrow's cavalier. And then they arrive at the first house, and the story sort of becomes a murder mystery. I was intrigued by the whole necromancers in space thing, but the book just sort of throws you into the deep end of the pool and explains absolutely nothing. I was so confused for the first 100 pages or so, but once I realized that the plot itself is not actually particularly hard to follow, I started liking this. But I will say this, the necromancy stuff was interesting, but the world building is a bit too thin. We learn a lot about the necromancers and their cavaliers, but we don't really learn much about the world that they're inhabiting or even just the houses themselves. There are also a lot of characters, and not all of them are particularly well realized or even distinguishable from each other. And it reads a bit too much like YA for my taste. I'm not a huge YA reader. I find that the older I get, the less I can relate to teenage characters. I have nothing against YA books. I just find that personally I can't really relate to those characters anymore. When I was a teenager, I wasn't really even aware that YA was a thing. I mean, it might not have been a thing. I think back then it was just sort of books for older children, and I made the transition to adult literature fairly early on. And I do wonder if my reading had turned out differently if YA had been a bigger part of my life when I was growing up. But anyway, yeah, I've come away from this feeling like I've read a YA book, but I did enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars. And I've already ordered the second part of the trilogy, which is called Harrow the Ninth. And yeah, I think 15-year-old me would have probably loved this. I'm also currently reading The Paragon Hotel by Lyndsay Faye. This is the October pick for the Genre Raiders book club, which is hosted by Chris over at Chris Bookish Cauldron and Jessica over at Jessica Reads Things. And I'm really enjoying it. So this takes place in the 1920s, and it tells the story of a young woman called Alice who is traveling, or well, fleeing to Portland. She had dealings with the mafia. Something went wrong. She got shot, and now she's on the run. And there is a black man called Max on the train who is a porter and who helps her to the Paragon Hotel, which is kind of a safe haven for the black residents of Portland. But violence is on the rise, and not everyone is happy about Alice being there. The people there are naturally quite distrustful of her, but she makes some new friends, and then she starts investigating a missing persons case. I'm really enjoying the 1920s atmosphere. The dialogue is very witty, and I generally enjoy books written in that time period. When I was a teenager, I used to be really into stories about the mafia and organized crime. I used to love The Sopranos and The Godfather, both the book and the movie. And I used to play the Mafia games. Actually, speaking of which, I've been playing the Mafia remake on my PS4 because I was in the mood for some more Mafia stuff. But anyway, yeah, nowadays I still very much enjoy books set in the Jazz Age, and I'm very happy that this is the October pick for the book club. And I'm also currently reading The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. I'm not very far into this, but I'm very intrigued about where this is going to go. The story takes place in the 17th century. A ship is about to leave Batavia, which is modern-day Jakarta, but back then it was part of the Dutch East Indies. And the ship is carrying an interesting assortment of passengers. One of these passengers is called Samuel Pipes, and he is a kind of a Sherlock Holmes type character. And together with him is his friend Arendt, who is kind of like the bronze to Samuel's brains, although it is implied that Arendt is actually very intelligent as well. and Samuel is being taken to Amsterdam to presumably be executed, although the circumstances of why he's been imprisoned remain mysterious. And the book begins very mysteriously as well. There is a leper who appears at the docks and issues a warning to all the passengers of the ship, saying that they would never reach Amsterdam, and then he bursts into flame. So Samuel thinks that something weird is going on, but he's finding it difficult to investigate because he is in chains. And we also meet the Governor General, his daughter and his wife. He is clearly a very unpleasant man, and he is carrying some mystery cargo. And then they all board the ship and stuff starts happening. That's really all I can say without spoiling anything. I've really been enjoying this so far. I'm getting the same sort of vibes from this as I did from the Seven Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, which I read last year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to finding out where the story will go next. So these were all the books that I wanted to talk about. Let me know if you read any of these and what your thoughts were. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!